1, 0, and liftoff.
Hello lovely people, hope you're doing well, and today I'm gonna be reviewing The Empire Strikes Back. Yes, I'm gonna be reviewing every single Star Wars movie, from the original trilogy to the sequel trilogy, including The Rise of Skywalker, which comes out on December 18th. Let's do this. I was introduced to The Empire Strikes Back with a little game called Shadows of the Empire. It was a blast. That aside, back in 1977, Star Wars became a huge sensation. Everyone had Star Wars fever around the world, and people were eager, trying to find more information about The Empire Strikes Back. 3 months later, they saw The Empire Strikes Back, came out disappointed. Why? Because this was a new film. It had a lot of meaning, a lot of symbolism, and people were confused. They didn't know what to think. What did I just see, they said. Why did I pay so much money to go watch a movie that didn't live up to my expectations? Some other people said. So let's talk about The Empire Strikes Back and what it's really about. The movie starts with the Empire searching for the rebels, leaving probe droids everywhere around the galaxy. Meanwhile, the rebels are hidden on the planet of Hoth. Luke and Han are searching for information related to the Empire, riding on their tauntauns. A tauntaun is a combination of a ram together with an alpaca and a kangaroo. And Luke says to Han, "You go, I'll catch up." What happens next? Luke gets attacked by a wampa and is dragged to his cave. The cave looks amazing. Every shot in this movie is amazing. The cinematography looks impeccable. Luke is stuck on ice. His lightsaber is close to him. He reaches out using the Force, grabs his lightsaber, goes, attacks the wampa, and leaves. Runs for his life on the scorching winds of Hoth. He's running towards the base. He can't make it, and Obi-Wan's Force Ghost appears, and he says to him, "Luke, go to the Dagobah system. There you'll look for Yoda, the master who taught me the ways of the Force." Then Luke calls out to Obi-Wan, "Ben! Ben! Help me!" Luke cannot walk anymore, he's unconscious. Meanwhile, back at base, Han is desperate, thinking where would Luke be? And Han asks one of the rebels if he came from the South Wing in Captain Solo. Luke Skywalker hasn't come in yet, and Han says to him, "Go check if he's outside." And then after some time he says, "Screw it, I'm gonna go find him myself." One of the rebels tells him, "Your tauntaun will freeze before the third marker, then I'll see you in hell." Yeah! Han is a total badass in this movie. We'll talk about that later. Han goes looking for Luke, searches with his binoculars everywhere. Right there was Luke. He runs to him, his tauntaun freezes, and he opens the tauntaun, puts Luke in so he can get warm. And then one of the funniest lines in the movie is said.
"I thought they smelled bad on the outside."
Everyone is getting ready for the Battle of Hoth, the most intense battle of all time. Princess Leia wants all the troops to be saved. Han wants the princess to be saved. Luke is in the actual battle. As the title hints, The Empire Strikes Back. Our heroes lose every moment of the battle. The AT-ATs blowing up everything, and they can't do anything. The Millennium Falcon, the fastest ship in the galaxy, the ship who made the Castle Run in less than 12 parsecs, is damaged. They almost get caught by the Empire right there on the rebel base of Hoth. They escape it, and we see that the Empire goes with their Star Destroyers looking for the Millennium Falcon, and they bring out the Starfighters. We get to one of the most intense scenes in the entire movie. the asteroid field scene. And I love how the tension is built. They're closing in towards the asteroids. Han says, they would be crazy to follow us, wouldn't they? And then C-3PO says, but sir, the possibility of surviving an asteroid field is 300,000 to 1. Never tell me the odds. And so they go into the asteroid field. Starfighters don't survive the asteroid field, and then they hide on an asteroid. And I love what the writers did with that scene, because they said,
let the Millennium Falcon stay there so that the Empire doesn't find them, and then they can go back up.
And then one of the other writers said,
no, let's have them in the belly of some creature.
and yes, in that scene, they think they are on a stable asteroid, but they're not. They are inside of a space slug, which was really enthralling. I love that scene. After the Battle of Hoth, Luke and R2-D2, they crash land on Dagobah. Now, Dagobah looks amazing. It's a set, and I wish the location would be real. Dagobah looks more like the Everglades in Florida. Luke thinks,
It's really a strange place to find a Jedi Master. This place gives me the creeps.
then we get introduced to one of the best characters ever introduced in film history, Yoda. Yoda is so funny. He is so funny. That character is not even real. Frank Oz and his team of creative designers made this puppet look real. When they arrive to Yoda's place, Yoda reveals himself to Luke. He talks to Obi-Wan and says, I cannot teach him. The boy has no patience. And then Obi-Wan says, do you really remember how I also was that way? And Yoda responds, he's too old. I cannot teach him. Remember, I was also reckless. And so Yoda begins training Luke, and we get some really cool scenes seeing Luke using the Force. What I really don't like about this scene, but it's kind of annoying, is that every time that Luke tries to use the Force and is using the Force, R2-D2 is like, wow, that's amazing, you're doing it, and then fail. He falls down. It's so annoying. I don't like it. How can I forget John Williams? Brilliant score again. He did it again. And The Empire Strikes Back score rivals the original. There is Yoda's theme, there is the asteroid field song, there is hyperspace, there is the battle in the snow. All of them are so great. I really encourage you to go get that score and listen to it. It's amazing. And even the Empire has a theme. The Imperial March, you know, the dun 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 dun. It's iconic. Everybody knows it. Everybody hums it. It's such a brilliant music, and it gives more impact to every single scene in the movie. Now let's talk about the scene where Luke is trying to lift up his X-Wing. He says, I cannot do it. I don't have the strength. And then Yoda says, try not. Do or do not. There is no try. So Luke does try to lift up his X-Wing, and he fails. His X-Wing sinks even more. He feels unaccomplished. Yoda goes, uses the Force, lifts up the X-Wing perfectly, lands it on land, and then we get one of the best insults in movie history.
I don't believe it.
That is why you fail.
We also see that Yoda instructs Luke to go to a sacred tree, where he says, you cannot use any weapon. Luke goes inside the sacred tree, and he has a brief lightsaber duel with Darth Vader. He cuts off Vader's head, and what do we see? Luke's face. And People back in the day when they saw The Empire Strikes Back, people were, what? What was that? Avoiding Yoda's instructions, Luke goes help his friends on Cloud City. Han, Leia, and everyone else on the Millennium Falcon go to Cloud City to find Lando Calrissian. He's such an old smoothie. When he sees Leia, he goes, "Oh, look what have we here. What's your name?" And she says, "Leia." "Oh, hello, Leia. Welcome, I'm Lando Calrissian." They go in, they get comfortable, C-3PO gets attacked by a stormtrooper, and we see that the Empire went to Cloud City as well. When they see Darth Vader, instantly Han Solo picks up his blaster and shoots. Unfortunately, Vader blocks all of Han's shots and they have a discussion. Now, I really wish the creators of this film would have shown us what the hell did they talk about on that meeting. It must have been so awkward. The Empire, wow, they are more evil than ever. They don't ask questions anymore. They threaten everyone. So as I said, Luke goes to Cloud City to find his friends, and then we get the scene where Han gets frozen in carbonite. That scene was so good, and I loved how Harrison Ford suggested the line of "I know" instead of "I love you too." Han would have said "I love you too." It would have been so corny. Instead, there was such a connection with Leia and Han that kiss was their last kiss. And Chewie is all sad, and it's a really sad scene. Han gets frozen in carbonite. Darth Vader says to Lando, because Lando wanted to change the deal, he said,
"I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further."
Oh, and I almost forgot. Man, we also have bounty hunters in this movie. We have Boba Fett, we have IG-88, we have Boss, a lot of bounty hunters, and that makes it even more intense. Finally, after all of that, we get to see who gets Darth Vader on the leash. We get a hologram from the Emperor, and he says, "There has been a disturbance in the Force. Have you felt it?"
Yes, I have felt it. The young Skywalker might be a great ally if I can turn him to the dark side.
So, when the confrontation starts, we see that Luke is afraid, but confident that he can do it. He thinks, his blaster is no good, I'll use my lightsaber. And so, when both of them ignite their lightsabers, Darth Vader is so confident with the Force. He's so relaxed. He looks like sitting on the beach, fighting Luke Skywalker right there, like that, like if it were nothing. Luke trying his best, and then we get the big reveal. After all that fighting, Darth Vader says,
"Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father."
And Luke says, "He told me enough. He told me you killed him." And then we get that famous line,
"No, I am your father."
This line has been parodied and copied in any other movie. We see a beat-to-beat version of that line in Toy Story 2. Check it out.
Surrender, Buzz Lightyear. I have won.
I'll never give in. You killed my father.
No, Buzz. I am your father.
And Luke doesn't believe him. He says, "No, that's not true. That's impossible." And then Darth Vader says,
"Search your feelings, you know it be true."
and it is true. Darth Vader is his father. Luke is the most oblivious character in the Star Wars saga. He first doesn't know about his father. Obi-Wan never told him. And after that, Luke doesn't have the will to live. He lost everything. He falls down, gets sucked into one of the ventilators, and then finally Luke reaches to Leia, who is the other Skywalker who also has the Force, and they go back with the Millennium Falcon, save Luke. Vader instructed the Imperial soldiers to go to the Millennium Falcon on Cloud City and deactivate the hyperdrive. What a sleazy bastard, Darth Vader, man, you're so evil. Luke gets his hand fixed, Han is frozen in carbonite, Chewie and Lando will meet Luke on a rendezvous on Tatooine. What? Really? And we get the cliffhanger. This movie is so quick, it feels like 15 minutes. The Empire Strikes Back is one of the best sequels ever made, and it abso-freaking-lutely gets a 10. Which one do I like better? Star Wars or The Empire Strikes Back? I personally like The Empire Strikes Back a little bit more than Star Wars. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of The Empire Strikes Back? Give this video a huge thumbs up and all the good stuff. Subscribe to my channel. May the Force be with you. And as always, take care and I'll see you next time.